Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be my second look at a 35th anniversary Transformers figure. Specifically, this one is the deluxe class Bluestreak, which is number 64 in the Siege line. Bluestreak is a direct redeco of the Prowl toy, though missing the light bar accessory and coming with the shoulder cannons that are included with barricade and smokescreen. Bluestreak is designed to emulate the original Generation 1 character's appearance as much as possible, and you'll see here, color-wise and everything, he does a pretty good job at that. If you don't already know, he is released alongside 3 other figures for this 35th anniversary line. You have Sound Blaster, who I reviewed previously. You also have these cel-shaded animation decoed Optimus Prime and Megatron, who I so far have not picked up. Maybe I will eventually, but if you've seen these reviews before, you know how this works. We'll take a look at the toy's packaging, the instructions, get a look at Bluestreak himself in both his vehicle and robot modes. I'm going to do some comparisons with his mold mates as well as the masterpiece Bluestreak, so you can see how well this kind of stacks up against that. And then in the end, I'll give my final thoughts. So the packaging is, as you can tell, a bit different from your normal Siege packaging. It's got this special edition call out. You got 2019 with an Autobot symbol making the 0 there. Where normally there'd be a picture of the character, you have just this Transformers 35. 35 is raised, which is nice. 1984 to 2019. Up top here you have a raised Autobot symbol. And then on this side is where his actual artwork goes. It looks really nice. I love the very expressive face he's got going on there. And then on the back, you can see a render of Bluestreak in his robot and car modes. And he's got another weapon accessory there, a gun. So I didn't mention that a moment ago, but he does come with the same, handheld rifle that Prowl has. Hope I didn't mislead anyone there. So yeah, that is his packaging. It looks very nice. There's just something about it that does kind of scream commemorative or special edition, so I like it. It does help him stand out as a more collectible item than your standard retail figures. Alright, so here are the instructions for Bluestreak. And you can see Orpheus Siege 64. So unlike Sound Blaster, his instructions and box are actually consistent there. And you just got this very plain render of him on the front. And then transformation to his vehicle mode, weapon storage for that mode, cross-cell compatibility chart, and then his weapon readout. And again, it's an ancient Autobot, but it took the time to translate this. So this is a Volt Beam Cannon. That's just his regular rifle that he's holding. And then his 2 shoulder-mounted things are called Acid Pellet Strike Blaster. So basically you got a zappy gun and a melty gun. And here is Bluestreak in his vehicle mode. You can see, compared to a lot of other Siege figures, it's a very muted color scheme, right? It's this dark silver or like a shiny gray and black. Pretty much it. You got silver rims and a red Autobot symbol, but other than that, I guess it's supposed to be his rear lights, huh? And his kibble stands out a little more because of all the loud red going on, but not that bad. And you can see he comes with the same rifle piece that Prowl did, as well as the shoulder cannons / hood cannons that come with barricade and smokescreen. So a little bit of everything. In fact, I think smokescreen comes with this same exact weapons layout, just with barricade's head. So nothing new to see at this point. This is the 3rd use of the mold that we've received. But here you can go ahead and see him alongside Prowl and barricade. So good cop, bad cop. And you can see just what a difference a paint layout makes. And you see these guys transition from very bright to just gradually darker in tone. So the only accessory between these two that Bluestreak is missing is the light bar accessory that they have, because obviously he's not a cop car. Okay, and here's Bluestreak's robot mode. And you can see it's very faithful to the original character. Naturally, there's some slight differences because of the reuse of the weapons from other versions of this toy and all that, but he captures the overall look. He's got the shoulder cannons, got his own little rifle there, wings swooped back, and overall, he's just as solid as all the other versions of this mold. Haven't had any issues with tolerance or anything yet, so 3 cars in, still no loose parts. That's always good. Now, a lot of people have been saying that the toys from the War for Cybertron trilogy have felt like mini masterpieces in a lot of cases. Trying to really capture just like the quintessential version of a character at retail value. And I think there's definitely some merit to that. So as you can see, I busted out Masterpiece Bluestreak, just so you can see how these two compare. Now when you get them side by side, you can see some fairly major differences. The head sculpt, because this Bluestreak does have a unique head. Now his upper body isn't quite as wide, a little more realistically proportioned, and you can see his wings do pivot up a little bit like they're supposed to. So to say that this is just a downscaled version of this toy isn't very accurate. There's a lot more work done in the Masterpiece Bluestreak to differentiate him from his base mold, which was Prowl. And there he is with this guy, who's just a straight redeco of Prowl with some new guns. But specifics aside, you can see how well they did manage to capture the overall silhouette. He's got the tail light feet, rear windshield shins, the car hood chest, the door wings, tires on the backs of his arms. He ticks all the right marks, and I think that's really what they're going for with the more affordable, price point. Anyone that's been following Masterpiece knows they're getting more and more expensive, like at a pretty rapid rate as time goes on. So I think as a lot of collectors are going to get priced out of that market, they'll have kind of a next best option in the form of the retail toys and, Generation, Siege, whatever you want to call it. And of course, we got the 2 mold mates, Prowl and Barricade again, just so you can see how they stack up in the robot modes. Their bodies are completely identical in shape. He's got a different head than the other two, so he stands out a little bit more. Old Barricade there. But you definitely get a different feel from each one of these characters. Heck, even though these two have the exact same facial features, I don't know, it could just be my knowledge of the character, it could be the colors playing on the eye, but Prowl just seems much more authoritative, like a police officer keeping the peace, than Bluestreak, who looks kind of more like he'd just rather not be there. Kind of your average civilian type character. Then you got Barricade, he just looks like a jerk. But as you can see, he does use the same shoulder weapons, right? Same thing. His are equally capable of connecting together to form the little double-barreled handgun there. And obviously, his shoulder cannons can be used for any of these other guys. In fact, why don't we take a look and see how they look on Prowl. So this is what that looks like. And I did the same thing during Barricade's review, but I feel that Bluestreak's cannons work a lot better for Prowl since they are just a neutral silver color. Look like they belong there a little more than the weird pearl purple that Barricade's guns are cast in. And, this honestly, it makes me wish that either Bluestreak or especially Smokescreen, with him being in Generations Selects and supposed to be like special edition, that one of them just came with an extra pair of these shoulder cannons, color matched for Prowl. So if you buy them, you can arm your Prowl up and make him a little more toy accurate. Like, yeah, I get that in the show he didn't really have the shoulder cannons, but would have been nice. And I mean, honestly, how much do these cheap little pieces of plastic really cost them to add there? So it's a shame, but I honestly would have been surprised if they actually did that. Didn't really expect them to do it. All right, and that's pretty much going to complete this look at Bluestreak. It seems the more reviews I do of this mold, the shorter they get, because there's just, less and less to say, less to differentiate them. Not to diminish the value of any individual toy, but I just don't want to keep rehashing the same points. I very much like Bluestreak. I like his colors. I like, he's interesting in his plainness, if that makes any sense. He's not as bold as, this black and white cop car, or this weird black and purple, futuristic looking car. Definitely not as bold as Smokescreen with his just red and blue. But I think it kind of makes him unique in that regard. He very much looks like a robot in disguise. He looks like he turns into something that, your mom or your uncle drives or something. I would say he's a slightly better value than these other two, just because he does have the 2 shoulder cannons and the rifle. Yeah, I mean, you trade out the light bar, but I feel like the rifle's a little more substantial. I expect very soon to be busting out these 3 toys one more time when Smokescreen inevitably shows up at the house. Hasbro Pulse has processed my payment on him, so should be any day now, hopefully. So that'll be the 4th and hopefully last, at least for a while, time that I review this mold. Again, not that I dislike it, but I don't want to repeat myself too much. So yeah, I think Bluestreak's worth picking up. I'm not sure if he's still available from Amazon's website. If he is, I'd put the money down, just so you can get a character that's very often overlooked in today's market and today's fiction. And if you don't want to order them online, Walmart's, the actual stores should probably start getting them in before too long, maybe around the holiday season or so. So yeah, very much hope you enjoyed this review. Make sure to leave your feedback in the comments section. Let me know what you think of the toy, what you thought of the review. If you did like it, make sure to toss it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure to hit the subscribe button on this page, as well as the notification bell, so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you for going in on round 3 of this mold with me, and with all that said, I will see you next time.